3, 2, 1, and we're live.
Welcome back, Football Mezzanine fans. This is Tristan, Anch, and Shrikar coming back with your weekly, starting now, weekly video recaps of the week for all the latest soccer/footy news for the games of the PL, the other big leagues, and anything big relevant. We got a couple stories, good ones coming up, so we'll be getting to that just in a little bit. In the meantime, we just wanted to kind of do a quick recap of a little break. Anch, you want to take them in on that?
Yeah, so we're going to be releasing, we've been promising this for a while, but we're going to be doing shorter cut videos of our long form podcasts on YouTube. So if you just want to listen to like a specific topic, you can do that now. Just watch that video. And they're going to be specifically titled as well. So you don't have to listen to the whole hour if you don't want to. And yeah, we've been gone for a while, so this is our first podcast back in a while. It's been infrequent recently because a lot of us are on a school term now. I think I'm the only one who's not on a school term this term. So yeah, but hyped to come back and go back to Football Mezzanine for...
Also big news, we're on Spotify now, so if you guys want to check us out there, you can.
Yeah, we're also on Spotify.
We're also on Stitcher as well. We're on Stitcher. We finally locked in on a day where we can record, so you can probably expect videos up every Wednesday now. Basically, every week, every Wednesday is when we're going to try and get them, and we'll probably try and find a specific time, I guess, for release date as well, so you guys can always expect them around the same time on the same day every week.
And we're also trying to do one topic that we cover in depth every week, rather than just doing like the games and that's about it. So look out for that. There's going to be one this week as well.
Yep.
Maybe guess what it is before you read the title, although that doesn't make sense. You probably read the title.
And we're going to call that segment our deep dive, where we, like Ange mentioned, we go a little bit in depth on topic.
Deep
try and
dive.
cover like a good solid 10
Should
minutes.
we make like Neymar, the pic of that logo or something?
Just have a clip where he just falls over every time.
Do you guys see the GIFs and
gets
like,
hit in the hand,
all the memes during
his
the World
throat's
Cup?
hurting.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
The one where he's swimming
yeah.
along the floor and Mbappe's kicking him. You see that one?
Oh yeah.
Was funny.
I've seen it where they're
man.
just constantly kicking him. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I guess we'll get into our first topics.
Yeah.
Ant, you want to lead us in on
Premier
this?
League. Yeah.
Prem. Yes.
Yep, so we'll be covering the Premier League games to start off, and then we'll go from there probably with some of the other league games where we'll just probably quickly mention some of the scores of the big teams. But as far as the Premier League games go, we're going to omit one till our deep dive.
You can probably guess which one it is. It's the first game of the weekend. Yeah. United beats United.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
The good United beats the mid-table United. Although I think West Ham's lower than United in the table, so I can't say that. Anyway, we're going to skip West Ham for now, and we'll come back to it in our deep dive. Let's start with Spurs, just winning 2-0 against Huddersfield. Shrikar, I'll start with you. Did you have any specific things you wanted to mention from this game? Spurs looking to kind of get back on track after like a shaky start.
Kane scored 2.
Yeah.
So there's that going for him.
He's got a lot going for him. But yeah.
Spurs are slowly climbing up the table, so is Arsenal, and they're on 15 points now, which is just 4 behind the pack. So
like the table right now, except for Man United, the top 6 looks pretty much how I would think it would finish at the end of the season, not going to lie. I hope at least.
Yeah.
Close, very
I hope.
tight-knit.
I hope the first 2 don't switch. But
I do.
Yeah, you never
But
know.
I'm very
no,
biased.
you're third, Tristan.
Incredibly biased.
You're third. Chelsea's third.
Yeah, I want the top 2 to change.
Oh, no, I meant switch. Like
Hence,
flip.
Chelsea
like
goes-
Liverpool ends up top.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, I
like-
want that to happen too, because I called Liverpool to win it
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Okay,
He
fine.
did.
But
But
I've been doing
But you don't
great
want
this
Chelsea
season.
to
We'll
win
get
it?
to
Is that not a
later.
thing?
I'm realistic. I would be happy if they came top 3. I'd be very happy if they came second.
That's fair. Wow.
yeah, and I feel like that's a possibility. But going back to
But
Spurs,
we'll get into Chelsea later.
Spurs had a
So-
pretty solid game. Huddersfield, again, not showing the same signs as last season. They're bottom of the league right now. And a lot of people expected them to stay up again this year, considering the strength of the teams that got promoted. Cardiff, Fulham.
I think Cardiff, Huddersfield are my favorites to go down, and I don't know. I don't see them getting much better Huddersfield. I don't think they
Yeah.
made too many signings this summer, and when you have like Dupoitras still playing up front, it looks kind of depressing from an outsider's point of view.
For sure.
Um,
For sure.
But in terms of Spurs, Eriksson missed this game. I think it's like, I heard the stat. It was like it's like the 5th game he's missed in the past 4 years, which is like ridiculous. He
That's
plays every game for Spurs. So Lucas
That
and
is
Son
insane.
both got to.
He's making his money's
Yeah.
worth.
So Lucas and Son both got to start. Kane scored, and one thing I've been noticing, which is interesting, is Danny Rose has been getting a lot of playing time ahead of Ben Davies this year, which wasn't the case last year. Like Rose was actually thinking of leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially where he was trying to push through. I'm very surprised that he's remained as a result.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I didn't see too much of him, but I saw him play sometimes for England, and every time I see him play, he seems to make a mistake. But obviously, I haven't watched him too much, but I feel like he's
Right.
not the most solid defender. I don't know what you guys think.
I heard good things about him because there was big transfer rumors for months about him going to any of like the big top teams, like Chelsea at one point was highly
because
rumored, like
Tottenham
Manchester
didn't want to play him.
United, like a lot of teams.
Same with Alderweireld. Like he was gone pretty much.
He was very rumored.
And now
to
man's
Man U.
like playing week in week out. He's part of the back three again. So, I don't know. Pochettino has his way of doing things. Let's just say.
I mean, he's gonna have to work with what he's got because they didn't get any transfers in the summer. So
No transfers.
first time.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
What a record.
But yeah, decent result for Spurs. 2-0. They needed that, you know. I think they lost.
Yeah, they did.
It's expected though. I'd be very surprised if they didn't beat Huddersfield.
Yeah, I mean they.
Yeah.
In fact,
They've been going through a rough
I'd be
patch,
very
though,
disappointed.
so it was good to keep a clean sheet as well. So good for them. You want to move on to the next North London club?
Yeah. Arsenal, Watford, Deeney making his presence felt, kind of, not really, at the Emirates. But yeah, 2-0 for Arsenal again. Another club with a new manager.
Yeah. Mkhitaryan
Mesut
seems
Ozil
like
scored, too.
completely out of the team. Did you notice?
Both Mkhitaryan and Sanchez. Look at how that deal worked out.
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, at least Arsenal got some money out of it.
Wait. Yeah, of course.
Wait,
Wait,
yeah,
wasn't
they
it?
did. Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah,
it player
yeah.
plus
yeah,
cash?
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was better.
Yeah.
plus cash.
Yeah.
Don't scare me
No,
like
no,
that.
you're good. You're the transfer guy.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Arsenal won this game in the last 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
Watford played well, yo. Watford could have easily won
Yeah,
this game.
Watford did play well. Yeah.
You know what's just surprised me enough? Aubameyang and Lacazette finally starting to happen. Put them in the same lineup.
It's actually
I don't know.
happening now.
Yeah, but Alba isn't doing well yet. Aubameyang? I don't think
No,
he's...
Aubameyang still hasn't hit form, but Lacazette's slowly hitting form. for
Lacazette,
Arsenal, I
yeah.
feel.
I mean, Lacazette's
Yeah.
been on form, I think, since the start of the season. I think he needs to play
Yeah.
ahead of Aubameyang. Like,
Mhm.
I'd start, like, Iwobi ahead of Aubameyang in the Champions League. Or, sorry, Europa League. Because when Iwobi came on, he made the goal for Lacazette. And, like,
Yeah, he did.
he looks
He
pretty
did.
on form.
Everything's coming along though for Arsenal. They're starting to at least get a more regular winning streak.
Yeah.
They're doing a little bit better. So you know what? Give them a bit more time, and we'll see what happens. Honestly, I mean, better than last season, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. I mean,
For sure.
it's too early to tell, I think. But 5 wins ever since they had that tough start of the season is, like,
Yeah.
what you would
I mean, so
ask
far so
for.
good.
But I'd like to see them play like a tougher team now, you know what I mean? Once they've settled down a bit
Yeah.
and see where they're really at. Like, I hope they've kind of progressed and they actually give, like, a tough team a good competition now. Because obviously, first 2 games, they were still settling in, so City and Chelsea both beat them. But now they've got 5
Mhm.
straight wins, and maybe they've settled
Yeah.
down a bit.
The North London derby should be a good matchup, I think, whenever that is.
Is that coming up?
It should be.
It should be.
Quick thing, did Czech get substituted because he got
Yeah,
injured?
he was
or?
injured. So
Yeah, he got
Leno
injured.
finally
Yeah.
came in, and he made some good saves, yo.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know why they're not playing Leno more. I mean,
I
you spend
think it's a
decent
ca-
money. He's a great goalie.
I think it's a case of until Czech makes a significant mistake, we're going to persist with him.
Yeah, that's it. Like, here's the thing, you know, he's been the starter, and just because there's a new goalkeeper, it's like not the best reason
Yeah.
to take him out of the team. and
Well,
he has been doing
I wasn't
well.
saying play Leno, period. I was saying, like, you know what, maybe do like a 50-50 or even like a 70-30 and start easing the percentage onto Leno a little bit more.
I don't think that happens
I mean,
that
assuming
much
that
with
he's
goalkeepers.
doing well.
Like, you rarely see
No.
goalkeepers being switched in and out. Maybe if it was like an outfield player, you could do that, but you need stability, I think, with goalkeepers. I mean, Czech is out for a month now, so maybe this is the chance that Leno needed. Who knows?
Well, this is the chance. If he wants to shine and take over, he's got to do it now.
Now, I do remember
mean,
though, Barca at one
Czech's
point
a little
played
older.
Silesen and Ter Stegen like almost in a rotational policy where
I think one of them played in the Champions League, one of them played in the league.
and then
Which-
the cups were also shared evenly, something like that.
which Wenger did
I heard that.
as well. If you remember, he played Ospina in the Champions
Oh,
League,
yeah, he
which is the
did, he did.
weirdest freaking thing. Why would
Oh,
you
yeah.
play your second goalkeeper in the Champions League, even though it's a cup competition? It's not
Mhm.
like it's not a cup competition in that way.
Yeah, it's usually the best goalie plays Champions League and Prem, and then
Yeah,
the
and then-
second goalie plays the other competitions. But yeah,
Yeah, that was really.
I heard that Madrid was trying to do that a little bit at the beginning of the season too, or at least that's what they had planned, kind of thing, like a
Mhm.
Courtois, Navis,
yeah,
kind of like rotation through. But from what I've seen, Courtois is getting more of the front line, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Yeah.
with the money they spent and the effort they did trying to bring him in,
you're not gonna
Yeah,
spend
fine.
90
and
mil.
the
And then-
caliber that he is.
Yeah, how much did they pay for him?
Honestly, dirt cheap. I think it was something like around 40 million.
Really?
Euros or something like that.
yeah, it was a cheap
Yeah, it
deal.
was. He only had a year left though. That's why. So Chelsea was in the position where Borussia Dortmund was a while ago with Lewandowski,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's do we let him go on a
It was only
Bosman transfer
35
and
mil.
force him here, or do we sell him? Hey, it's 35 mil more than they had if they kept him for the year, right?
True.
Because then they can spend it, and like say they have to spend a lot of money like they did on Kepa, they're at least now it offsets half of the fee, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't like Courtois.
I don't think a lot of people do.
I liked him as a goalie. Personality wise, you know what, a little bit big for his britches. So, but
yeah, yeah.
What's britches?
I think it's like underpants or something like that.
Isn't that
I
a
don't know,
compliment?
something around that. No,
I'm just thinking.
I don't know. It's a saying. It's a saying where it just means like they have a too big of a head kind of thing. Think too
Oh.
much of themselves.
Too big for his. Oh, it is a thing. You're
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
so
it's because
moving on
you're
to the
too
next
cocky.
game.
Get it?
Yeah.
ah,
Oh.
that means all Spurs players are that. Nice to know.
And shots fired where there were none.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's a compliment. That's just me. But let's go on to.
All right.
I mean, okay, we can kind of mention these games. A lot of 2-0s
Yeah.
this weekend. Wolves 2-0 Southampton. Leicester 2-0
Yep.
Newcastle.
Against Newcastle, yeah.
Southampton, Newcastle, again, not the greatest starts of the season. They look kind of shit and down in the dumps
Newcastle
already.
look done. They have 2 points from 7 games.
You see the story where Mike Ashley is going to buy the squad, like, ice cream or something for dinner to make them...
Oh yeah, I did see
It
that.
was so
story, yeah.
interesting. What was it again? I was like, Mike Ashley...
I think it was dinner or something. Yeah, with the players, like a clearing the air type of situation.
clearing the air. It's like, hi guys, I'm going to leave the club, but here's some...
Here's some ice cream, just in case.
It's
It's not like you guys are on a diet or anything, but
Here's
you know.
some Consolens ice cream. So you guys don't cry too much and then the season goes to
It's a
shit.
good idea. Like, when you're about to break up with someone, take them to dinner.
Yeah, it's like
And he'll
So,
foot the bill.
here-
Yeah, I mean, he's the owner of the club. I'm sure he can afford it.
yeah.
No, it's just a headline. It's really funny.
Yeah, but moving on to the bigger game. Bigger game. I mean, bigger team. Man City against Brighton. 2-0 for Man City. What'd you think of that one, Edge?
Yeah, I watched it, and
You're a resident town hall or resident Man City fan.
yes, it was solid. A lot of 2-0s again. It was a solid performance, and it's been a good response ever since we lost that Lyon game at home, which was just oh man, that was painful
bad.
to watch. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't see them play that bad since like Pellegrini
first-
era, dude.
yeah.
Not gonna lie, or maybe the first season where Pep was around, like
Yeah.
Maybe that's why West Ham's been doing iffy.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
No, but it was a solid game, and a couple
I mean,
of interesting
28
stories.
shots.
A couple of
28 shots.
yeah, their goalkeeper was good.
28 shots. Possession 81%. 850 passes.
Yes, sir.
It was basically 4 times the amount of right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just
But,
destroyed them. Their pass accuracy 92%. It was just all over. Absolutely all
And De
over.
Bruyne is still to return. Kevin De
Which is the scary
Bruyne.
part.
De
Yeah.
Bruyne.
Which is that's the scary part.
He's
The
back
fact
in
that
training.
your team is still that effective with missing a player of that class.
Yeah.
That's when you know your team is good. You don't have a
Speaking
weakness.
of
Although apparently Fernandinho might be that weakness. So
yeah. I don't
Do
know
you think
if
De
you've heard
Bruyne
about
has a
that,
chance to start against Liverpool? Any
Not
chance
start,
to even
not start.
show up?
but he's gonna. He might show up.
Mm.
I don't know if he'll show up.
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna rush him. There's no need to rush him.
Yeah, fair enough. Like they're doing
It's
well
a big
enough
game, but there's
anyway.
still no need because if you get him hurt again, then he's just out for longer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but
Ange, you were gonna say something about like, interesting facts or something, right?
yeah. Well, speaking about players who are missing, right? Both of our left backs, Mendy and Delph, are injured for the Liverpool game. So what's gonna happen
Ooh.
is 21-year-old Zinchenko, who's an attacking midfielder from our youth academy. I mean, he's been promoted to the first team for the past year, so he's been training with them and playing a couple of matches. He's gonna play left back against Mo
Jeez.
Salah.
That's a big.
I feel really
move right
confident with
there.
this guy, man. I've seen him play like approximately 8 to 10 games now in the first team, and he
Okay.
looks
Yeah.
so solid. He even got
Okay.
called up to the Ukrainian national team in the last international break, and he scored a goal to win them the game in the last minute. So he has a lot of confidence right now. But it's just something interesting to watch out for. He's going to be in the Man City first team, and he's going to play against Liverpool, and he's going to play in the midweek against Hoffenheim in the Champions League.
True.
If Guardiola has enough faith to play him on like right off the bat, and that's the position, I
Yep.
mean, especially against Mo Salah, he's got to have faith in
I
him.
think so. I mean, unless he ends
I-
up playing like Laporte or something at left back, which he did last year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I don't know.
It was.
How's Laporte on the left back though? I mean, I know
Laporte's
he's a great center,
He's
but
so solid.
yeah,
He's solid anywhere he plays.
I wasn't sure about his pace
but
or not.
that's the thing. Like, he's not pacey, right? So it's not like we're gonna
Right.
use that left back position to attack anymore. Like we use it a lot to
Mhm.
attack. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's just something to mention. Other than that, comfortable win for Man City, top of the table now because
Yeah.
On goal difference, yeah.
Which doesn't mean too much as far as top of the table. What does mean a lot for me, at least, is the goals for. I mean, they have 21 goals for, and the next closest team is 15,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So, the fact that they're already 6 goals ahead and with not a game up or anything like that.
I mean that's expected with
if they
Man
continue
City.
this trend, yeah. But all I'm saying is that it's good as far as the fact that they're getting so many,
Mhm.
and then goals against is so low as well. So as long as they keep that trend, I mean, they're in good
I'm
position.
just gonna hold
Very
my
good
breath
position.
until we play Liverpool at Anfield, man, because that's
Yeah, they are your
that
weakness,
is
right?
the ultimate test.
It's just
If we
kryptonite.
can pass that test, then I'm actually gonna be confident for the season. Because
No, I have a
otherwise,
feeling it's gonna be a close game because you guys are bound to show up at one point against us. Like I feel like it's gonna happen sooner rather than later.
You know, there's 90 minutes is a long game. Man City may show up for like a few 5 minutes kind of thing.
no, it's just I don't know.
It's expected.
I'm really nervous this season too because Fernandinho isn't having the best season so far.
Mm.
Like he had one of the worst.
But then again, we
performances against Lyon.
we haven't run out of the blocks here. Yes, we've got the wins, but if you look at our attacking, I guess, incisiveness or attacking zeal,
That
we
is-
haven't shown
That is the thing. You guys aren't as
we haven't shown much this
yeah,
season.
like-
we're more clinical in terms of like defense and
Mhm.
overall team performance, but we're not the same
Attacking force
attacking
yet.
Unit like last season.
like
yet,
they're not
yet.
on peak form. Like Salah's not on peak form right now.
Yeah, none of our players are exactly on peak form. As a team, we're performing better just because we have a more wholesome squad. But
Yeah.
still, attacking wise, we still have some ways to go.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see how it ends up.
Mhm.
And before we get to the Liverpool-Chelsea game, we can quickly mention Everton winning 3-0 against Fulham. Fulham people were expecting big things of them. So far, they haven't
Yeah,
really matched the expectations because, they made a lot of signings, right?
They made a big risk with a lot of signings. So
I feel like
they've got
they're
a lot
kind
to
of
lose.
in like an Everton situation like they were last year, I think, where they signed
Yeah.
like 2
a
million
bunch of players.
for like a bunch of money, and they just tried to play them all at once, but it never works like that.
That can really hurt them too, especially with the financial fair play.
I think, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is with their finances, but I know they got bought out by like a new owner, which is why they're so rich. And same with Wolves. Wolves are a decent looking team now, gotta say.
Yeah. Wolves have potential to break into top 8, I feel.
I think they will finish in the top 8 this year.
Yeah, Wolves have been doing great.
Yeah.
Them and Watford, those have been
Watford, yeah.
The standout
big
performances.
surprises
And
for me.
I gotta say Bournemouth, man.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Yep.
you know which team in the Premier League has the least clearances? Like, long ball clearances. Like, you would think it's Man City, right? But it's actually
Yeah, yeah,
Bournemouth.
yeah.
Like, they're the most ball-playing
Damn.
team. Like, Eddie Howe is doing some crazy stuff with that team. Really
They're
interesting.
on 13 points, too. They're having a solid start to the season.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, Everton 3-0 Fulham. Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yep. Moving on the Chelsea-Liverpool game, because that was a good one. That was, basically 2 games where they were in quick succession where they played each other.
Yeah.
First one being, the Carabao Cups, and Chelsea coming out on top of that one. And then the Liverpool game. Whoa, that was a good one. That was it honestly could have went either way. Liverpool, probably a little bit more towards Liverpool's edge.
I don't know.
I feel like
I don't
we
know.
missed a bunch of chances, but again,
If I gave an edge to someone, it'd be Chelsea.
Really?
Based on what I watched.
Interesting.
I would give a slight edge to Liverpool on that one.
Mm.
There was a couple chances where they should have, like
We
where
should have
Rudiger
finished,
stopped
yeah.
it. Like Mo Salah basically had an open net, and he was running pretty quick, so he had to kind of place it. But Rudiger comes in and just sweeps it right before the line and gets it out.
Yeah.
and then
And then there was another one-
Firmino had a header cleared off the goal line, and then Shaqiri
Yup.
missed an open goal.
Was it David Luiz that saved the Firmino
Yes, yeah.
on
Yeah,
the line
yeah,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, that was again another where that was going right in, and
Yeah.
that was right place at right time. And then didn't you guys bend it off the post of the crossbar too?
I
don't
know
remember that.
Shaqiri.
Did he?
Could be
Yeah,
wrong, though.
I remember another one that was tight.
Yeah.
That was close.
But
But then
It was a great game.
Sturridge pulls out this absolute worldie out of fucking
nowhere.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I was
Like,
watching it, and it was like 2 minutes
I was like,
left,
don't
and I
shoot
was
from
ready to
there.
turn
I'm
it
like,
off,
don't
'cause
shoot from there.
I
Yeah.
know. I was like, this
For
thing
anyone
is
who-
dying. And then
Yeah, for
2 minutes left.
I was gonna say for
Sorry,
anyone.
Go on.
For anyone who hadn't seen it, 89th minute, Daniel Sturridge right outside the top of the 18. He had a bunch of players around him. Just decides to you know what? I'm just gonna shoot this, and just bends it, and it was a hard drilled shot, and bends right into the top opposite
Almost,
corner
yeah.
too.
Yeah. It was
Ugh.
unstoppable.
That's exactly the thought process he went through too. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot it. I'm just gonna shoot it. And he shot it, and it was just like the best shot he ever probably shot in his life.
89th minute. We were so close. I was watching the game, and then my phone gets messages from one of the apps that I follow. So I'm watching it, and then I check I get a message to Buzz, and I'm like, oh no. And I check my phone, and I'm like, fuck.
Oh, you got the notification before you
And
saw
then
it?
30 seconds later, I'm just waiting for
Oh.
it, and then
That's
the goal
the
happens.
worst.
I'm like,
I always
"Oh."
turn off notifications before I watch a game because of shit like that.
Yeah, rookie move
Is
on
it
my
Shrikar
part.
in the
I
fucking
didn't-
World
ugh.
Cup? He
Oh, yeah.
fucking messaged
I
the group
remember.
before that Russia goal against, what was it,
Oh, it was
Croatia?
the Cheryshev goal?
Yeah, it was the
Oh,
one-
dude.
the
Oh.
goal of the fucking tournament.
Oh.
my god. Like Shrikar. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
I'm glad I didn't read that one.
Anyway. Yeah.
I mean, Sturridge's been
think-
on form, though. He had a cracking goal midweek, too, like a bicycle kick that
Yep.
went straight in as well.
Yeah.
He's showing up. He scored against PSG.
Did he? No, he. What?
I think he did. Didn't he score against PSG?
Oh, he did. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you think he should start against Man City?
No, I feel like Man City's style is counterintuitive to playing Sturridge.
Yeah, but I don't want you to play Firmino.
Exactly, we want. No, I feel like Sturridge's a great option off the bench. Like again, in the 75th minute, he comes on fresh legs. He has,
he didn't
the
celebrate
nuance
against
to
Chelsea
shoot.
because it's his former club. Do you think he would do the same for City?
I mean, the last time he scored against Hughes was 2013, I feel, or yeah, 2013 at the Etihad, and he didn't celebrate then, so I doubt he's gonna celebrate now. But
Oh,
we'll see. We'll
I
have
don't
to
even
see.
actually remember that. That's weird.
It was when
But
Hart
both
was
of
still
these-
in that. Yeah.
Both of these teams have been great, though, and as far as comparing last year to this year, they've gotten even better. I mean, Chelsea was hard not to be better
Chelsea
than
have
last
looked
year. But
really good. Like these past couple of games
Yeah.
against Liverpool are the first times I've watched full Chelsea games, and I was so
Yeah.
impressed. I was like, wow, like this team looks completely different from last year. They don't look defensively that solid yet, but they look assured. You know, like
well, defensively they've been good. Offensively has been huge for them, and I think a big part of it is as a result
Hazard.
of the playing style. They've been a lot more passing, a lot more on the pressure as well. Hazard, as a result, I think has been doing well because of the system. He's part of him has picked up himself, but I think a good part of it is also the system. My only concern is again the striker position, because we have had nothing coming from that. And if
Yeah.
anything, has been more support. Like Giroud's been great,
Yeah, Giroud's like
but he's been like a supporting role, and all their goals have been really like the wings and otherwise.
Yeah.
So I am very concerned about that, because at one point, to say Hazard gets injured or the wings stop producing, we have no goals going
Yeah.
for us.
that's probably the
But
biggest
that
reason.
so far, otherwise, it's been
That's
great.
probably the biggest reason you guys will be just below City and Liverpool. I think this season, you just don't have that
I agree
goal
with you.
scorer, which is like
I
vital.
absolutely
you need
agree.
that.
Yeah. Like
So-
a Costa type.
Yeah.
Like any goal
Yeah.
scorer, man. You need someone who's
But
on form, and you don't have
the
that.
problem is it's hard. It's really hard finding a good striker that consistently puts the goals in that fits your team at the same time. Like
Yeah.
it was years in the making that we were waiting for a striker like Costa, basically, and when we lost him, it's very hard to get and then find a replacement at that point. Kind of
Yeah.
thing. And hopefully Murata can turn it around, but honestly, I think he's kind of gotten to the Torres funk where he's gotten his own head, and at this point, the only thing that may help him is potentially like a move, like a transfer
Yeah,
kind
I
of thing.
think he
So I
has-
wouldn't be surprised if next summer
Even
or
to
maybe even the
January.
following. I mean, they're really going to need another striker at this point, and then they come into the issue of now they have Mishi that could potentially come back from a loan, and then who
Man,
knows, maybe he can fill the
I
role.
think Mishi would be
but-
great for you
yeah.
guys. Every time
Yeah.
he plays,
I think so too. I think he needed this loan though to really cement himself, and if he does really well this year, I think they should bring him back and cement him as
Yeah,
the first.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
Sounds fair. Yeah.
But it really comes down to the loan. But honestly, I'm just happy that the possession, like their passing, has been great, and it's been the stats actually with them and Liverpool been very comparable. Like you see, the passes were roughly the same this game. Passing accuracy was identical. Like possession was close enough. Shots on like net and on target close. And even when you look at the standings, goals for, goals against are pretty close as well. So the fact that Chelsea's been able to kind of turn that around so much after one season, and relatively keeping, with the exception of Jorginho, really like mostly the same
It's just
team.
a complete change of
It's
style
been
because of the
interesting.
manager. And all the players have
honestly,
been
it's
saying
made
the
a
same
huge
thing. Like, you know,
difference.
they completely love it. It's something they haven't done under the past two managers, because they had Conte and before that they had Mourinho, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it's just most of these players, they've like rarely, if ever, played this way. So they're loving it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's working.
Yeah.
For them.
And part of the other thing, like, I think part of the reason is the style of play, but I think a big part of it is honestly morale boost.
I think they're related.
with-
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you look at he's released a couple of the restrictions that, like sleeping at home for one thing for before game nights, I think, or something like that. Another one was a bit of dietary as well.
Was that the
restrictions.
ketchup thing?
Just things like
Like
that.
y'all
Probably.
can have orange juice.
I only remember it being like a dietary restriction,
Okay,
but
okay.
either way, the fact that he's alleviated some things like that and just made it an overall much more fun environment, that is a huge morale boost. And morale boost
Smoking
is
allowed.
an absolute game changer, and which will lead into later when we talk about Man U. But morale, I think, is something that's underrated as far as like people who aren't in the scene, as far as like coaches go, that might
Yeah, I mean,
kind of underestimate
allowing
it.
smoking now is a huge morale boost. I think that's helped.
I don't know if that was one of the restrictions he banned or lifted. I don't see why he
I
would.
mean, he lifted it at Stamford Bridge because it's not allowed at the bridge, but he does it.
Probably for
Yeah.
himself. That's probably what he did for. He's trying to cut back, but
But I mean,
who knows? Anyways, he's not on the field, so I don't care.
True. Any final thoughts on Liverpool?
I don't know. We're having a mixed season. We have to
You're
see.
having a
We have
good
to see.
season, mate. You're having a
You
good
guys are having
season.
good
No,
season.
mixed in terms of like attacking potential. I'd like to see more attack from us. But other than that,
Fucking
no complaints
Liverpool
here.
fan Joint Tops says he's having a mixed season. What more do you want?
Yeah, but I find you guys have been more consistent for one.
Yeah.
I find that you guys have been more defensively locked down as well. Like you're gonna con a little bit of your offense.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
But you are a lot more. You're a lot more stable, and you're a lot more difficult to beat as a result.
I haven't seen a
Yeah.
Liverpool
And,
team.
I think this is gonna pay off in.
I
the
haven't
long
seen a
run.
Liverpool team as defensively solid as this in my entire life.
Oh yeah, in ages.
My entire life.
Like, yeah.
Like it's so
100%.
weird. So
100%.
You-
Yeah,
you
it's
guys
so weird
should
for
be
me too.
happy,
I'm
man.
like, yeah. I mean, Allison even
This is-
introduced a couple of good saves on the weekend against Chelsea. So
He was a great buy.
Yeah.
Great buy too.
Yeah.
Allison.
I mean, he was
and Van
expensive, but he
Dijk
was a good buy.
just rocks.
yeah.
Joe
And even
Gomez
Gomez
too.
has stepped
Joe
up now.
Gomez,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
And then
And
Robertson and Trent on the wings. are
Robertson
also
and Trent.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Unbelievable. 18 years old. He's the key,
Yeah.
key to your right side.
So guys, for time's sake, let's just kind of recap some of the other games from the other league, just score-wise, and then we'll move on to our deep dive, I guess.
Sounds
Yep.
good.
Yeah. So for League One, Paris Saint-Germain beating Nice.
I thought we're only
3-0.
doing big leagues, mate.
Ooh.
Come on.
Screw off. And Lyon tying Nantes for
Nantes?
1-1 was the score.
Isn't
Yeah.
it Nantes?
Nantes,
I thought it was
Nantes.
Nantes.
Yeah, it depends on how you say it.
Dude,
What
if you say
I
it
don't
right?
think. Well, I don't think Nantes is actually the correct term if you're gonna go with the French way.
well,
Nantes.
So
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah.
Nantes.
I believe
Yeah.
you.
it's Nantes.
I believe
That's
you.
why I said Nantes.
Yeah.
If we have any French
Uh,
fans, let us know. Actually, let us know in the comments.
Please.
I feel like I'm right.
You're probably right.
But I, I
You're
would like
probably
to
right.
hear
You're
from it
probably
just to
right.
be sure. But Lille beat Marseille 3-0.
Mhm.
So
Ooh,
that
nice.
was a yeah. I mean, Lille's a great team. They've had some years where they've been up there. They're generally up there. So as far as La Liga goes, we have Valencia winning 1-0 against Real Sociedad. Barcelona tying Athletic Bilbao 1-1.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid tying Atletico Madrid
Messi starting on the
0-0.
bench. What?
Wait, what?
What is going on?
Yeah, I have a feeling he probably wasn't feeling well. There's some sort of reason behind it because you don't. If he's fully well, you don't just put him on there, right?
Yeah.
No, I think
Unless he's having a major slump, and I'm talking a very major one, right? So
Yeah.
no.
which
we
doesn't
still don't
really
put him on
happen.
the
So
bench. And
yeah. Either way, him in a slump is better than probably 80% of the players out there.
Yep.
So. And then, other than that, that pushes us to the Bundesliga, where you see Bayern actually losing against Hertha 2-0 on Friday. And then you see Borussia Dortmund, though, beating Bayer Leverkusen 4-2, which actually Borussia Dortmund is now in the lead over Bayern.
What?
Bayern's have a bit of an... Yeah, Borussia's ahead in the standings over Bayern.
what?
Yeah,
No.
that's the thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so Bayern's actually had a little bit of an underwhelming season as far as compared to the rest of the seasons where they've just
They're
dominated.
getting old, man.
everything.
That's
So
why. They're still. They
Yeah,
have like
probably.
Ribéry, Robin.
It's true,
Lewandowski,
honestly,
like-
yeah. And there's been a little bit of talk about that too. They're gonna probably have to spend some. I wouldn't be surprised to see them next summer put a little bit more money than they normally do because they're generally conservative as far as their funds
Mhm.
go. So
Yep.
next season they might need to.
Renato
especially
Sanchez,
to
by
replace
the way, has been
Ribéry.
stepping up for them.
Oh yeah, it's about time. They spent a bit of money on him, and he really just never lived up to the hype.
But yeah, he's been good this season.
Okay, well, I'm glad to see that. And that actually brings us to the Serie A, which is the Italian league, where we see how Roma beat Lazio 3-1. And then Juventus beating Napoli 3-1 as well, which was a big game for them. They needed that. Inter Milan beating Cagliari 2-0. 2-0. And then that brings us to Milan, who beat, I don't even know this team, Sassuolo.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
4-1 they beat them. So.
Not bad.
Cool.
And that's the recap of the other leagues as far as the main big teams going on there. And that should push us into now our deep dive segment. And for this first initial one of hopefully further many more is going to take us into our dive into Manchester United, into the world that is kind of the underwhelming season, the third year of Mourinho, the cursed year. So does anyone want to start us off as far as comments goes on this with considering anything around that scenario.
I feel like we've talked about the third year curse so many times. I've lost count.
We have.
So I'm struggling to come up with like things to say that aren't repetitive at this point.
New content.
Because everything that we're going to talk about right now is...
We've talked about this.
We've talked about it, and everyone's talking about it. It's all over the internet. So I'm trying to think of something that's actually true. That the reason is behind Man United's like terrible form. Because I know
taking away
the typical reasons are Mourinho, the players are shit. But like I don't know, you know, because they're actually the highest paid squad.
Low blow.
They're the highest paid squad in the entire world. They get paid the most in terms of salary. Alexis Sanchez gets paid £500,000 a week, and he's not even in the 18. How does that happen?
I always said that was a terrible move. I always mentioned that was a terrible move. That was a forced move. That was a move that was forced either to appease Mourinho or whether it was thrown on Mourinho. Either way, it was a forced move that shouldn't have happened.
So, I don't know whether it is actually because Mourinho is that bad. Because Mourinho's not this bad of a manager. The players aren't that bad of players. There's something going on, which is like...
At least my take on it. Throwing away the third year, this is the way I look at it. I mentioned earlier morale boost, how it's so important. Having the morale of your squad is so important. And right now, I think Man U's morale is pretty shit. And it's not because they're just losing a bunch of games. It's probably because the way Mourinho kind of deals.
I think
he has poor
media surrounding the club is also making the morale like worse and worse and worse.
It's making it worse than it is as far as, there's a big losing streak, everyone's doing terribly.
Literally,
they always jump on them after a couple games.
You can't
kind
even
of thing,
step outside your house without being like ridiculed if you're a United player right now.
You know what? It happens at a lot of the big clubs. It's something it's something they have to deal with. Honestly, you can't put it at that because they deal with that at every big club. Pressure-wise, if you can't deal with the pressure, you're not going to be a big player, right?
That's also why like you struggle to get out of the rut. I think like they've been in a rut, but they're struggling to get out of it because of that. I think if they learn to put that...
no, media, definitely not media.
No, man.
You can't blame it on the media that the rut is continuing because of that.
We did this with Arsenal too last year, if you remember. If you remember that episode.
I don't remember us blaming the media on the rut.
No, I'm not blaming the media.
I mean, it might help.
I'm not blaming
the
media.
It might be a little bit...
I'm not blaming the media. I'm saying that helps a player's confidence or it worsens a player's confidence. And the players look like they have no confidence.
To an extent, yes. But again, they are big-time professional players, the best of the best. They should be able to deal with pressure.
They should be able to look past it.
Deal with the media.
Yeah.
What my biggest thing is, it is poor player management. Mourinho, taking away the whole curse, but he has had a knack for after a couple years. Some players do really well with his personality. Some players, he tries to use tactics to push them, but the way he does it, I find, is poor player management. It's generally abrasive. It generally pisses off a lot of your bigger stars who have bigger egos. And I'm not saying cater to their egos, but I'm also not saying the way he goes about things, I find, he has a way of pissing players off. He pissed off Sergio Ramos. He pissed off Ronaldo at Real Madrid. You see that with Chelsea, where the players were a big reason why he got sacked so early, on top of the games. And the same thing you hear, where you see Pogba, like in training, him and Mourinho arguing. That should never happen.
That was
in training, that
should
not happen.
Yeah.
And as a result, you see with the morale boost, and you can look at Chelsea just this season. It is pretty much the same team, but it's night and day as far as the game time goes. It's absolute change. And it really comes down to his player management. I think as a result, it's the third year. A lot of the players now are getting fed up. Anthony Martial, who is a great player, who is now Mourinho's trying to push him out of the team, and now you're seeing the club be like, no, he's a future player, so we're keeping him, we're not selling him.
For the past like 5 or 6 games now.
Because he has to deal with them, so he has to figure something, because the team's not working as well, so he's mixing it up, right?
He could have started Lingard. He could have started
Fred. Yeah, but the way they've been playing, he's got to mix it up. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting the same results.
No, I get that, but I don't know. What do you think United has to do now to get out of this mess?
I think there's only one thing they can do, because it's the most classic thing. You sack the manager, but what that does is obviously start a chain reaction of everyone actually coming to training, being like, okay, everything is different. We're actually good players. Hold on, we have to prove ourselves to this new manager.
I feel like it's still too early to talk about a sack.
I don't think so.
I
don't see any way back.
It's well,
Like, I
so
don't.
they've had 2 games now of recent. They tied Wolves 1-1. They've lost to West Ham 3-1, I believe.
Yeah, and they lost to
right?
Derby in the cup.
This is the same start they
Yeah,
had
so
under David Moyes.
they've had a rough start to the season, and it's very similar to the Chelsea season that he got sacked in. And if this continues, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a mid-season sack. And there's been rumors about. We'll just briefly cover this right now. It's rumors about Zidane potentially getting in, and if they can get him in, that could potentially influence it as well. But Man U is generally better than Chelsea as far as not sacking the managers very quickly. So they're going to give him more leeway as a result, and potentially if he can turn it around a little bit, go to the end of the season. But Man U is a top-tier team. Like Ange said, they have a lot of salary, like high-paid salaries, and they're very good players. They should be doing much better than what they are. They should be easily a top-3 team. And they're not. And like Ange mentioned, one of the options is sacking. It is a little early. It will get the result if this continues, I would think, because you'll get a whole atmosphere change, like Ange mentioned. But I think another way to do it, which this is all reliant on Mourinho, and it's very hard as far as to get a manager to change his whole style, but it's really how he treats the players. He's going to have to change and do like a complete 180 probably, where he's going to have to almost reset.
I don't see that.
Right? And the way you would do it is you would have to almost like, again, like kind of take him, get some sort of like team building experience kind of thing.
You don't change your
where
personality.
You have to well, that's the difficult part. That is the insanely difficult part, is you have to
happen.
change a lot of your personality. And I don't see that happening. So I you know what? I would agree it's probably going to end up in a sack.
I mean,
that is
Mourinho was
one way you
sacked
could,
last
and this is the
time,
thing I can see.
17 December 2015, so just weeks before Christmas. We could...
Like,
If they keep this trend up, I wouldn't be surprised if it's roughly around the same thing.
yeah.
They lost to West Ham, and West Ham's been playing like iffy this whole season. They've been like okay games and bad games. So.
I was watching the West Ham game, and it was like, actually, they do this in every game, not just the West Ham game, but they give the opposing team's midfield so much respect, so much space. Like, West Ham could pass the ball around wherever they wanted. They had time on the ball.
West Ham were playing some of the best attacking football I've seen this in that brief minute. I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's what Pellegrini can give you when he's actually like on point.
Yeah,
but
my big thing is that for next summer, regardless if they sack Mourinho or assuming that they don't sack him, actually,
right,
they're going to need to highly consider taking a new manager at this point. Otherwise, you're going to have to basically alleviate the what's taking part of the morale down, which is going to be feuds, which means Pogba's going to have to go, and Barca's very interested. But I think that would be a wrong move on Man U's part.
Man.
Martial's probably going to end up having to leave as well, which I think is also a wrong move considering he's so young and's got a lot of potential. So you're going to see players like that, and honestly, I think that's the wrong way of the club that wants to go. So I'd be very surprised if he stays past this year.
Also, the thing we have to remember is when you are in a bad rut like this, it happens to every club. Like, not just Man United. It'll happen to every club during this season. And
there are ruts,
when you're in a rut and you lose yet another game, it's easy to go and find new reasons or to use the same old reasons. But the most common reason that you lose games when you are in a bad place is because you're originally in a bad place. So when something goes badly in a game, for example, you concede a goal, and you're already in this bad rut, you have doubts that start creeping in. You have your manager that's already on the edge. You have subs ready to come on because your manager doesn't trust you. And then all this is cyclic. So, unless you get out of this rut because of luck, usually it's because of luck that you end up winning a game that you didn't deserve to, then it starts getting better. So,
yeah,
I think it's also, a bit of an overreaction to say all the stuff that we have been saying, because ruts happen, and it seems like they're getting it at the beginning of the season. So that's also part of the reason.
I'm not building my response just off the rut, though. I'm building it off the videos I've seen from in training where 100%. You have a Pogba arguing Mourinho and things like that shouldn't be happening. Maybe they might dispute, but ultimately the manager should have all say, and the players should be respecting that. The fact that he's not respecting it shows that there's some major dispute.
Here's one thing to think about, though. If that video came out and it was Pep with, let's say, Sterling, what would the media say? They would see the exact opposite.
I don't think that would happen, though.
No,
and the reason you wouldn't
something
get
like
that
did actually
because
happen.
of it.
But what the media made of it was, Pep is teaching Sterling to become a better player. That's exactly what happened. I think.
So you had them basically arguing on the pitch.
Yep. And the thing is, the media
No, I get that. Even with Klopp, if you'd had an argument, I feel like at like Chelsea, City, and Liverpool right now, the three managers that are in place are essentially bigger than the player. So like the star man in the team isn't like a particular player, but a manager. I don't know if that makes sense, but from a perspective,
You mean the manager is the true star player of the team in
Yeah,
every other
yeah.
club? Okay, yeah. I think that's the
Yeah.
case with Man United too. I don't know. It's hard to say.
And
you
again,
really
I just
can't
want to
tell, man. We can
mention
only
quickly.
speculate.
I want to quickly mention though that I'm not again building it just off this one.
No, I totally get
time
that.
where-
I just wanted to throw the point out there.
I'm just saying I'm not building off this one video or anything like that. I'm building off even last year there was repeated instances and stories about again Mourinho Pogba having a feud.
Yeah.
So like the consistency of it is what really brings it home, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I mean Mourinho's known for it too, so it only makes
it's
sense.
the
to
case with
naturally
Mourinho
assume
everywhere
that.
he goes.
Yeah. So I mean,
I think he just has a hard time dealing with specific personalities, and I think some of those personalities are a little bit more
it's always the big personalities that you clash with.
yeah.
and that makes
Yeah.
sense, right?
the egos.
You're not going to clash with a
They're
small
hard to
person.
manage, though. Fairness to him, it is hard to manage players who are at the top of their game, who have big personalities and big egos, kind of thing. And at some points, you're gonna have to tell them, like, look, you're playing like shit. Like, change that.
And even
But it's the way you go about doing it.
looking at their next 5 fixtures, they have Valencia in the Champions League, Newcastle, Chelsea, Juventus, and Everton.
Oh boy.
Realistically, I'm seeing maybe. I don't know if they can beat Valencia. They
Yeah,
should be
I have
able to
doubts
beat
about the
Newcastle.
Valencia game.
They should be able to beat Newcastle. Chelsea, I doubt that's going to happen. Same against
They
Juventus.
play well against Chelsea,
Who knows,
generally.
though?
They
Like,
do
generally.
play well
It's hard.
against Chelsea.
It's hard to predict, man. Like, for all we know, they could end
It
up
is. It's very
having a
hard
good
to
set of
predict.
5 games, and the media completely turns
Yep.
around. So
Yeah, but going off the current form, I see maybe 1 or 2 wins in the next 5 tops.
Mourinho has a way of surprising people. That's what I've learned.
And
You mean
I
parking
think
the
this
bus?
is just a critical point for them.
No, I mean
I think we'll see what happens.
just getting unexpected results.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. That's all we can comment on is kind of what we see now, a bit of what we can speculate. But honestly, still early.
Like
still plenty of
watch
season.
Ronaldo.
Very easy to turn it
Watch
around.
Ronaldo get a red card against United, and
He's not
Pogba
playing against
score.
United.
Pogba score a worldie against Juventus. No, he is playing against United.
Did the red card get rescinded?
It's only for 1 match.
Oh. Nice.
So I
Nice.
guess as far as time's sake goes, that should bring us into our next topic, since Anch just mentioned it, the allegations against Ronaldo. Big allegations
Oh.
coming out of what was Vegas, I believe, and potential settlement and everything like that. Does anyone want to bring the story in on this one?
Oh boy.
I don't
Oh
volunteer.
boy. I think the story broke over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. What is the story, Shrikar?
Well, this goes all the way back to 2009, the summer where he got his big move from United to Madrid. Man was in Vegas partying, and apparently someone's come out and accused him of sexual assault.
Yeah, so it was Catherine Mayorga, and she basically said that
Mourinho.
I can't put it nicely. So she said that Ronaldo anally raped her, basically, and apparently there was some sort of settlement where she received like $375,000 for her silence.
And her new lawyers are like, "Oh, you can break that vow of silence now for some reason."
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there was a non-disclosure as well, so I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Part of they're trying to see maybe if they can get more, or maybe someone else broke the story, and I mean, we'll see what happens. But I think part of the way they're trying to push it apparently is that in the agreement, I guess he agreed to saying that yes, he did anally rape her or something along those lines, and that she said like no and stopped several times. So,
But
but
I've
I mean,
also heard
again,
a
there's
case
this
of
non-disclosure.
I've also heard that there's been like a bit of a translation error or something like that, which
Okay.
I don't know if it's true. Something from Portuguese to English, which was misconstrued.
Yeah, again, this is all allegedly at this point because, I mean, there's a lot of back and forth. I mean, Ronaldo's representatives have denied the rape allegations, but there was a confirmed, apparently, a non-disclosure agreement and payment of $375,000. So I honestly don't know how this is gonna to play, but I mean, this has some big implications. So we'll see what happens, and we'll keep you guys updated on this. Did anyone else hear anything else, Anch? Did you hear anything of this
No,
mentioned?
pretty
or-
much what you guys said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
don't
if he
really
does
wanna
get
into it too
convicted,
much.
he goes to jail, right?
Yes. You're
Yes,
not
he
getting
would
off
get
with
jail
it.
time on this one. Yeah, there's no way. This isn't one of the the
Yeah.
Spanish
Volunteer. Volunteer.
kind of like you get 2 million and 2 years of jail time, but since you don't have any offenses, you don't get the jail time, and you just have to pay the money or
you're
something
not
like
Okay,
that.
getting
No,
so
this would
he
be
will go to
legitimate jail
service
time.
for rape. That's not happening. But I don't want to get
That'll
into
be
that
big.
yet, guys. No one knows anything.
Let's keep off it for now. We'll see where this. We'll keep you updated.
Well, I thought this was just interesting to mention because it is a big story kind of thing, and this has major potential implications, especially with Juventus just paying so much. But this thing would last. This is going to go a while.
Yeah, it's not
this
going
lawsuit.
to be something that's going to be resolved.
I heard a rumor, a conspiracy theory that Florentino Perez knew something about this, and that's why he sold him. Which is again probably bullshit by the journalists, but
Yeah.
that would be an interesting play if it played out that way.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, Ronaldo's representatives are denying everything. They're saying it's all fake. So we'll see what happens.
I mean,
coming out
Ronaldo
of
was on
this,
Instagram live right after the news broke out on the weekend, and he came out and denied it. So yeah, we'll see.
There's a story
Yeah.
coming out that Alexis Sanchez tells his friends that he regrets joining Man United over Man City. It is really funny.
Honestly, he should at that one.
I mean, that's believable AF, but
yeah.
yes.
Why wouldn't you?
Highly believable.
Oh, I'm so happy.
But again, it was a forced move. He's a good player, but it was just a forced move, and I don't think they really had a keen position or role they wanted him to play, and they just kind of slotted him where
Literally
they
makes
could,
no
and
sense.
as a result, it's not working out so well. And although on his part, it was a little bit greedy too, with trying to get more money than he really needed. I
it's
mean,
all
he
on
has so
him.
much money to begin with. I don't see why he'd even need that much more.
His
but-
best performance so far was on the piano.
Is it still 3 goals in God knows how many games?
I think it's 2.
It's still 3 goals.
I thought it's 2.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. Oh, it's so funny.
And I guess with the last little bit of time left, that should bring us to the end of our stories, but
And our
to our
awards.
awards.
So,
So Ange, why don't you take this
sure,
away?
let's start with our Disgrace of the Week, brought to you by Gary Neville. Oh, let me think. Disgrace of the Week? So
Can we
many
just-
options.
Biggest disgrace of the week is going to be like it actually says. It's going to be who we think has been the worst,
Absolute
whether it be a
disgrace
club,
they
an
are.
organization, a coach, player. Who was the worst of the week?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, you're right.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
This is tough.
Mine's going to be cliche, but I at least have one.
I mean, we could just give it to freaking United again, but
We've already given it to them. We've given it to Mourinho and United before.
Yeah. Who's your-
along
who's
with
your
Arsene
cliche
Wenger
pick?
and some other people. Honestly, it was gonna be Man U. I can't give it just to Mourinho.
just the entire
the players-
organization.
The
top to
players as
bottom.
well. Well, I wouldn't give the whole organization, but I mean the team itself, as far as the players, the manager
owner,
goes.
the staff,
Even
the
the under
manager,
18s,
the players,
the under 16s,
Woodward.
the fans,
Woodward's not coming off clean on
the
this.
fans.
the under 9s.
Whoa, no, we don't attack the fans.
No, I'm joking.
We're gonna get so much hate mail. But no, it's just the recent forms. I mean, the recent form they've been in, there's no excuse. A West Ham 3-1, Wolves 1-1. You know what? Wolves have been playing well. I can give it to them on that. But just the repetitive ties and losses in the start of the season.
Not
I
good.
mean, this week though, I gotta base it off this week. So that 3-1 loss to West Ham. I mean, who hasn't been in the greatest form? You know what? My vote is for them.
It's
for
our
the
vote
team
too.
itself.
Yeah.
The biggest disgrace of the week
100%.
goes to Manchester United
Well,
Football
all right.
Club.
So Gary Neville, your biggest disgrace of the week goes
I
to
just said that.
Manchester United, the team, both manager and players.
All right. What else?
And that should move us on to the second award. Shrikar, do you want to take this one away?
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it to either Hazard or Sturridge because I thought they had fantastic weeks, both in the...
Okay, well, before we say who we want to give it to, our next award is going to be the Golden
Whoops.
Dude of the Week.
Golden Dude.
Which will be
Dude.
the who we think is the best player of the week as far as, to our knowledge, what we've seen going on and form as well. So,
I have an
Sorry, you
interesting
mentioned
pick for
Hazard
this,
and who?
But go on.
Shrikar?
Yeah, Hazard or Sturridge, because I thought they had solid
Oh,
weeks
gotcha.
because they had scored in both games, and I mean Hazard terrorized Liverpool's defense both times around, and Sturridge had 2 wonder goals in both the games, so it's a tough pick, but
That's fair.
those are
Yeah.
my choices.
This one's probably not going to win. I just wanted to throw it out there because it's been under the radar. But Raheem Sterling, he's had an insane season so far, and in this game too was really good. He made 1 goal and he scored the other one. So, like he's carried off right where he left off, and I'd say he's been even better than last season so far. He's second on the Premier League goal scoring list. He's third on the assists list. He's having an amazing season so far. I'd say he's been like our joint top player with like Bernardo Silva so far this season.
Sorry, who was that
Raheem
again, Ash?
Sterling.
Raheem Sterling. Okay.
Sterling.
You see, my vote was Hazard last week, and he's been on great form, so
Yeah.
it'd be another easy mention, but I'm trying to stay away from that. So you know what? As far as my vote goes, I'll go for Anch at that point to kind of keep things a little different. And
Hazard
go with,
wins the
Raheem
metaphorical
Sterling.
golden dude, but this specific week we'll give it to Sterling.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
try and mix things up.
Okay. And
We did it. I mean, we did it with Arsenal when we were doing Biggest Disgrace.
Oh,
We couldn't just
yeah.
keep giving it to them
Oh,
week in
yeah.
and week out, so we had to find new
like,
things.
well, there was a
So
period of
you won't
like
do it here.
6 months last year where we're like, who's the disgrace?
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Wenger.
Wenger. It's like, okay, we're done.
Arsene Wenger, Arsenal. I mean, we could have just kept switching back between them, so no.
I think we gave it to
one
Arsenal
person
Fan
would get
TV
the
at one
same
point
thing.
as well.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, because they were just destroying
Yeah.
them over.
We were out of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right, so that recaps the Golden Dude of the Week, Raheem Sterling, and this should be the closing out. Does anyone have any other remarks or stories they want to mention before we finish off?
No, I mean, we're going to be cutting this up into all the topics that we discussed. So if you want to listen to just something specific or send like just a specific thing we talked about to your friends, share it. You can do that. You can just look out for the specific video we put out on YouTube for that.
Yep, we'll be dividing up all the segments, so there'll probably be like 10, sometimes 15-minute episodes. Also, if you forgot or you didn't see in the beginning, we are on Spotify and Stitcher now, as well as YouTube, of course. And you'll be able to download all the podcasts on those. You'll be able to listen to them. As far as YouTube goes, we are doing the webcams as well. So if you want something visual with the audio, you can see our beautiful faces every week, where we'll be releasing hopefully every Wednesday around the same time, since we've kind of hammered down a schedule that we're all going to be meeting up with.
Finally,
and,
yeah.
Other than that, don't forget to like this video, whatever platform if you can, and especially on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe as well. We do appreciate the support. Hit the comments down below if there's anything you guys want to comment on, whether you agree, disagree, or there's anything you just want to add more information into. We always appreciate that, and we always like to learn more information. Thanks again, everyone, for listening and watching, depending on what you are on. And other than that, I think this is going to be Football Mezzanine signing off. Is that right,
Yes,
guys?
sir.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be this is going to be Tristan.
Who are you again?
I don't know, apparently. I haven't even been drinking.
All right.
So I'm going to be Shrikar.
I'm gonna
I'll be Tristan.
Oh,
fuck.
I want to be Tristan.
Everyone wants
Okay.
to be Tristan.
Well,
Okay. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
And no one apparently wants to be Ange, and we're going to be signing off.
Bye.
See ya. Peace out.